Uh, Good morning, friends, and welcome to this workshop where we would like to deliberate on issues of technology transfer and commercialization in India. A little bit about why this workshop is being organized or how this is being organized. We are very fortunate that we have a very long-term project from Department of Science and Technology under what we call ASPIRE, which is Academy for Science Policy Implementation and Research. It's an academy which is being incubated inside ASCI, and at some stage in a few years from now we would like to see this academy grow into a full-fledged institution. So under the aegis of this academy, we organize these events which has policy implications, and one of the issues that has been bothering policymakers is how technology transfer can be, or the process of technology transfer can be improved or tweaked and fine-tuned so that the scientific output can be translated into economic gains. Friends, that's how DST also requested us to conduct this workshop, and let me tell you, the outcome of this workshop is going to be a policy brief from the deliberations of the eminent speakers that we have here today, and that will be passed on to the various scientific ministries to be taken up by them for fine-tuning their processes. On my own behalf, let me welcome our Director General, who has kindly consented to come and give his opening remarks to this workshop, being extremely busy. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to come and give your opening remarks. My thanks also to Dr. Praveen Arora, Advisor, Department of Science and Technology, for having come all the way from Delhi specifically to inaugurate this workshop and give his welcome address. Thank you, sir, for coming. My thanks to Dr. Hirwani, who is connected with us through Skype. Dr. Hirwani is the Director of CSI Unit for Research and Development of Information Products, and we would very much like to hear his views when he gives his inaugural address on issues pertaining to technology transfer and commercialization. I will not elaborate more on the speakers who are going to come in each session from there on. We have a very eminent panel lined up, and I am told because of the famous Hyderabad traffic, a few of them are stuck, but everybody has confirmed, and we will have all of them with us very soon. But we will not wait for them. We will start the sessions, and to start the proceeding, may I call upon our Director General, Sri Ravikant, to give his opening remarks. Just a little bit about Sri Ravikant. He is an IAS officer of 1985 batch, obviously has taken voluntary retirement from services after 21 years of service. He has spent last 10 years in the corporate sector, so he is one who has expertise both in government as well as in corporate, and we are very fortunate to have him here as our Director General. And thank you once again, sir, for having consented to give your opening remarks. Over to you. Sorry, this one gaffe. To welcome delegates, let me now request Katyani to welcome Mr. Arora, Dr. Arora, with a bouquet. Katyani, please welcome Sri Ravikant also with a bouquet. Sorry for that. I speak out of turn as usual. Sir, over to you now.
Good morning. We are very happy that our association with DST is permanent now. And under that association, an academy within ASCI at a very right time is pursuing the causes which country now is focused upon. You just saw the startup policy which was given by the Prime Minister in Vigyan Bhavan a few days ago, which is a very good step in the direction of what we are going to talk. I welcome Dr. Hirwani all the way from Delhi. In a technology conference, distance does not matter, physical form does not matter. Sir, you are here with us. With your brain connected with the conference is good enough. Dr. Parveen Arora, welcome sir. You are our very close friend, and for every big event you are with us. And I also welcome all my friends here who have come. And thanks Dr. Nirmalia Bagchi, who is the Dean of Research and Management Studies in ASCI. Also very happy to see my colleague Dr. Usha Ramachandra sitting here, who is the Dean of Trainings, long term, short term, whatever, all of ASCI. So thank you friends. Just short while ago, I was having a mini conference with my students of PGDHL sitting in the rear. I was telling them that for any production, any manufacturing, 4 people are important. There are 4 stages. I have a constraint. So 4 stages or 4 people. Number 1 comes the scientist, most important person, who discovers a phenomena, cause and effect, a production, or anything he discovers. For example, X plus Y is equal to A plus B. A is a great product, but that is it. And he does it in a Gram lab. Right, sir? He is not bothered about laws, legalities, financials, profitability, etc. But he discovers. But then, the second stage is engineering. An engineer comes in the scene. He will convert that Gram lab into a 10-ton production unit by designing, fabricating, process, seeing that environment is kept under check, etc., etc. Fine. But then the engineer does not know whether it is infringing any IPR, any international treaty, any local law, etc., etc. So the lawyer will do due diligence. But till now, the most important thing in life, friends, what is that? Money. Right? At the end of the day, does that engineering process make money? Is it profitable? And in the literature, you are saying competitive edge. Otherwise, your product does not sell. Forget internationally, even locally. So, friends, 4 stages. Scientist, engineer, lawyer, a chartered accountant. All of them have said yes, so it is Jindabad now. The product is there with a competitive edge, manufacturing is there, jobs are there. That's exactly what we want in our country to happen. You all heard of Dr. V.K. Saraswat, who is now the member of the Niti Aayog and the ex-DG of the DRDO, and like Dr. Hirwani and Dr. Parveen Arora, he is also a great friend of ASCI. Last year, he was in ASCI on 2nd October, again on 15th December during our Foundation Day celebrations, and he emphasized on culture of science for society. He says science for whom? Science for society. Therefore, for this to happen, the 3 pillars, the academic institutions like ASCI, R&D labs, all of CSIR and whatnot, and industry, very important, should collaborate with each other for synergy and contribution to the society. In India, sorry to say, we have very few examples of indigenous research turning into commercial projects with competitive edge. I have already explained you the stages before. The publication of research papers, friends, is not enough. The new role should be scientist cum developmental engineer. This phrase, scientist cum developmental engineer, is not mine. It is from Dr. V.K. Saraswat. I am taking this opportunity to convey to you. Thus, a good scientist must aim for techno-economic application of research. Now, in the innovation ladder, the scientist and researcher should endeavor to make a prototype. You all understand what is a prototype. And then aim for commercial production with, of course, competitive edge. There should be social and economic impact of research in the country, and only then it can fulfill aspiration of this vast country with so many poor people, deprived people. Sorry to say, we actually import a lot of technology, but we do not have that technology which is available off the shelf, which can solve many of our local Indian problems. Because foreigners, they develop technology what suits them. But there are many problems in this country for which appropriate technology, if developed, will really touch the social and economic fabric of our poor people. I say in a very simple language, we need to find what? Cost-effective solutions. At the end of the day, cost becomes important. I call it jokingly SST. It is rhyming with DST, Professor Dr. Hirwani. SST. And SST to me it means Sasta, Sundar or Tikau. Okay. So that is what we need. And let me also tell you, be it US, be it India, be it China, any country, governments are always falling short of resources. No government is surplus in the world. There is always a resource constraint. Therefore, there is a quest all over the world. Innovations happening all over the world. Policies getting tweaked all over the world for one single purpose: to provide goods and services both effectively and efficiently. Effectively, I mean good quality. Efficiently, I mean least cost. And needless to tell you that in the current information age, the human knowledge, friends, is doubling itself every 5 years. It never happened before. And thanks to globalization and thanks to liberalization, which our country has embarked upon since 1991, the industry, both the public sector and more so in the private sector, we are importing technology. We just import contemporary technology. I'm in touch with lot of public sector units. Okay, no problem. I am loud enough to be heard. Okay. So the CMDs tell me that since we have to remain competitive in the world, since our R&D is not developing, and shall I tell you, I worked in the corporate sector, private sector. Friends, private sector hardly invest in R&D in this country. So what do? If we have to make in India, we need the latest contemporary technology which gets imported. In a way it is good because our R&D is not keeping pace, otherwise we are not in the global picture. But there is another point. the technology to be transferred in Indian conditions needs to be appropriate. I'll just explain you which is appropriate to our local raw material, our environment and our legal regulations. Remember famous case? Suddenly we imported thermal plants once, long time, but those thermal plants were suited to a particular quality of coal. But our coal, indigenous coal, is full of shale, moisture, better lot of ash content. So those technologies did not work, right? And let me tell you, in India, the gross domestic product, you know, GDP, today the RBI chairman has said, our GDP calculations are not done correctly, we better need to do correctly. Whatever it is, it won't make much difference in what I am going to say. The composition by sector, you know what is it? Services is 65%. Imagine, this country is leader in the world thanks to the services it can deliver, as I told you, both efficiently and effectively. That is how most of our boys and girls in abroad, IT, they're all service based, you know, ITES. Services 65%, industry only 18%, and agriculture, of course, only 17%. So everything adds to 100%. So you can see industry is today languishing at 18%. I am saying relatively. So therefore there is a very strong case that manufacturing sector in India needs to improve dramatically. You agree with me? Thanks to the percentage, of course, everything is competitive and not a day too late. Today the government of India thrust on Make in India, Skill India, policy for startups, culture of innovation, culture of facilitation, single window service, industrial policies being announced by state governments one after another. All this, I am sure, will encourage our R&D efforts and to find cost-effective solutions to address our problems in the country and to reach the unreached. Thank you so much.
Sir, for setting the tone of the workshop, may I call upon stage now Dr. Praveen Arora to give his opening remarks.
So good morning and Happy New Year, as it is the first month of the new year to all. So distinguished delegates on the Skype, Dr. Hirwani, Director, URDIP, Shri Ravi Kantji, DG ASCI, Professor Nirmalya Bagchi, Dean ASCI, distinguished participants from industry, government, scientific ministries, scientific agencies, academia, scholars, press, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of Department of Science and Technology and on my behalf to this one-day workshop of national importance on issues in technology transfer and commercialization in India as a part of the DST's Academy for Science Policy Implementation and Research platform at ASCI, Hyderabad. In fact, if you recall, in fact, many of you are new, but then few of them recall this is a third in the series organized under the same theme, umbrella theme, that is STI for Make in India. The first such workshop was, in fact, organized in April 2015 at New Delhi, emphasizing mainly on the STI perspective for the success of Make in India. Essentially, it means talking about reviving manufacturing by capitalizing demographic dividend of the country. In fact, to which the present DG, Mr. Ravi Kant, has also elaborated in his inaugural speech just few minutes before. The second workshop in December 2015 was on a topical area on growth issues for startups in India in response to the new initiative Startup India, Stand Up India announced by the PM. And the present workshop touches yet another important dimension, which is called technology transfer and commercialization, and in fact, which is central to making national science, technology, and innovation system resilient and relevant for the success of, again, a new initiative, Make in India. So once we know that the issue of technology in the developing context is very important. In fact, if we look into see the evolution of the various science and technology policies in India, starting from 1958 Scientific Policy Resolution, and then the Technology Policy Statement, and the subsequent policies of Science and Technology Policy 2003, or even the latest one, which is STI Policy 2013, you will see some kind of a central connect, through the technology. They all emphasize, about the technology and its and the related issues about it. And in fact, the Scientific Policy Resolution starts with, saying that the key to national prosperity, apart from the spirit of the people, lies in the modern age in the effective combination of three factors: technology,